Hi everyone, thanks for making the left turn. For today, Saturday, June 23rd, 2018, I'm George Farrar. Welcome back to History Jacksonville, our 103rd Street. And today I'm bringing to you throughout the Left Turn Network on 2 YouTube channels and everywhere I can bring it to you, a tribute to the class of 1993 celebrating 25 years. I graduated Forrest High School in June 1993, 25 years ago. My senior quote was, "He most lives who thinks most, feels noblest, acts the best." I was a future leader. I was voted future leader in the senior superlatives. And I had some great friends. And, of course, here we see Forrest as it was back in 1993. Now, we know that the name changed from Nathan Bedford Forrest. And as we go down 103rd Street, let's remember that the first 2 prior episodes of our 103rd Street were really popular, thousands of views. So I'm going to really enjoy bringing to you this tribute to my friends out there, and the staff, the teachers, the professionals, the community that made a lot of things happen for me, made things possible for me, opened up some doors, and certainly opened up my mind. I will not be talking about Nathan Bedford Forrest or addressing the controversy surrounding him. I trust that if you want to know more about him, you'll Google, and I'm sure you'll find quite an interesting reading available to you. I want today to focus on the positive, the great things about Forrest High School, the people that made up the school, and the great things that happened back in 1993. So as we cruise along down 103rd Street, we're going to start to go back into time, back into the past, back before social media like Facebook and Twitter, back before the smartphones. Bill Clinton was president. So long ago. He was in his first year as president of Jacksonville, was Ed Austin. Here we see him in 1993 in the old Gator Bowl. Okay, this is a long time ago. Back then, I really loved Nirvana. Okay, so I was really listening to Nirvana back then. I really was enjoying life, having a great time. I had some great friends, Walter, Eric, Damon, Nakia, great friends, close friends, and people that I really like to talk with. I really had good conversations with people, and you know, I wasn't, of course, most popular, but I think generally I had really good times with everyone that I could interact with, and you know, my family was also inspirational. Here I am at the baccalaureate service with my grandmother. This is in the gymnasium of Forrest High School, now known as Westside High. My grandmother did a lot to ensure that I was able to get through high school, and it meant a lot being able to not only go to high school, but later on to Florida State University. And we see here Jim Clark was a new principal, and I was involved in academic competitions. So from time to time, I'd be talking with him. I was also involved with the recycling effort. I was trying to make sure that we separated out styrofoam at lunch breaks. So at the lunch, so on my lunch break, I'd be in the cafeteria sometimes, sitting with some of the other recycling, the ecology club, and it was fun. I want to pay tribute to great teachers that were at Forrest High School in 1993, in the early 1990s, teachers who inspired me, motivated me, and set me on the course for some great times ahead. Okay, they helped with the foundations of the things that I would need going forward into college, into the university, going into community college and ultimately into Florida State University and ultimately out into the world, out into the career world. And so we have on the left, we have Ken Jackson. He was my AP senior English teacher. I got college credit for AP English, passed the AP English exam. A lot of literature, a lot of Shakespeare, a lot of tragedy, Antigone, The Heart of Darkness. Interesting guy. We didn't always see eye to eye on things like my worldview, but it was an interesting time in English. And of course, Patricia Atwood. I guess I would have to rank her as the greatest teacher at Forrest High School. She's my 10th grade English teacher, honors English teacher, and she was a humanities teacher. And I took a lot of her humanities classes. And she actually convinced me to do summer school math, to get caught up on math. Yes. It was something interesting. I'll tell you about that now. I had summer school math with Rufus Dickinson. The first day he talked about the algorithm. If you think about now, the algorithm, that the role that it plays. Back then, social media didn't exist, but now we talk about the algorithm as it relates to social media, things like Facebook. So he really got me interested. He taught me that there was some depth to math. We had a lot of back and forth, and I did have a tough time. I always had challenges in math, but he was very passionate, very caring. I mean, you have to be to teach math in summer school, okay? So I was trying to get ahead. And so it was one of those interesting times. It was, I only went to summer school twice in my life, and the first time was like preschool, okay, kindergarten, way back, and in this time it was to try to get ahead, and so he was a great guy, and it's something you think about as you look at getting the kind of knowledge that you need to succeed in the future. So I got a lot of good basic knowledge in that summer school course to where when later on in my junior and senior years, things were able to kind of move along a lot easier for me. And certainly when I got into community college, I needed all the help I could get. Mamie Brightman had a big role in really getting me started on a good footing with pre-algebra. She really kind of confronted me in a way at one point on the steps I needed to take to really get things going. So the 10th grade was a critical year for me, getting into high school, starting at Forrest. And wow, I have so much thanks to tribute to pay to Ralph Lawson, American history teacher, John Meese, world history teacher for me in 10th grade, and AP European history teacher for me in my senior year. These are great folks. I still have the Age of Jackson book that Mr. Lawson gave me, and I got a 5 on the AP American history examination. Okay, so when you see me do these History Jacksonville videos and you watch these shows, all of this does come from somewhere. I've always enjoyed reading and talking about history, writing about history, and as you can see, for those of you who've been big fans and have followed me over the years, I like to make videos about history. And these guys got me really excited, even more so about American history and particularly European history and world history with Mr. Meese. And so great folks and great times and times I remember fondly. And it was really a casual atmosphere. If you think about things these days, here we see Mr. Williams. He was another great teacher that I had a chance every once in a while to talk to. For a while, I also had Ed Yakabuchi, and later on, I would actually come back to Forrest High School one day to interview him for my History of Vietnam class that I had at Kent campus, Florida Community College at Jacksonville. We now know it as Florida State College. at Jacksonville. Back then, I interviewed him because he had been in Vietnam in the 1960s at Khe Sanh. So there was an opportunity at that time for me to get to know him better, and I had a chance to learn quite vividly in talking with him about what was really happening in Vietnam at that time. And so history really came alive for me. A lot of great things were happening at Forrest. I had a great time in marine biology. Eric McClure had a great marine biology class. I learned a lot, and it's kind of interesting because years have gone by and I'll still reflect back on a lot of the things I learned. We live here in Florida. We're right off the ocean. It was a great class, a lot of some great folks, good fellow students, and we had a great time. He really made science very fun and practical. And that was something that was very unique and got me really interested in ecology. And Linda Sparks, now she went on to become a member of the Duval County School Board. I even later on would work briefly on her campaign. She was Republican. Back then, I was a Republican. And I was just getting into things, and so she got me really interested into ecology. And who can forget Coach Warsowitz, wrestling coach? He was my biology teacher in the 10th grade. He was great. He had a great sense of humor, and it was a fun class. Another fun class, Robert Christine, sociology, AP psychology, and Miss Butler. She really got me interested in political science, and there were a lot of vigorous debates and conversations in her class, back and forth. Back then, I was kind of a Republican, so it was a unique time, and I really got a chance to really talk about politics and learn about politics and learn about what makes up all the things that make up politics. And it really got me interested into later on when the time came for me to pick my major at Florida State. It was political science. So these were the steps that I was taking incrementally, walking on the path of my life. And I valued all of these unique relationships. Off to the left-hand corner, you see Avery. Mr. Avery, he was, I would hang out with him every once in a while at lunch break. It was a fun time, and really, I think I mentioned this earlier in the show, but it really comes down to the fact simply that the people make the school, not just the students, but also the teachers. I had a lot of foreign language. I had Spanish and I had Russian. Miss Lajar, she's not pictured here. She was my Russian teacher. Here we have Dora Ramos and Jane too, my Spanish teachers. And so really great fun times that helped me really to build a foundation towards my further study of Spanish, going into when I was in community college. I was on the JV and varsity Brain Brawl teams. The Brain Brawl competitions were televised on public television on WJCT TV7, and the sponsors, varsity was Mr. Day. I just saw him not that long ago, and then Miss Thorstein, who actually happened to be the 1993 Teacher of the Year. She was the JV Brain Brawl coach. So, and I would even do academic competition. I did academic competition of the Citizen Bee with Miss Butler. We went down to Tampa. We flew down to Tampa. It was my first time on an airplane. Okay, so there were all these fun things I got to do. I wasn't really into, I'm not into athletics, and I won't exactly be known for my my good looks or skills at romance. So I had my own scene, and I had some good friends. And so I hope that you've enjoyed this tribute. Most of the pictures in this tribute to the class of 93 is from the Confederate Passports Yearbook. And I want to thank you for watching, and I really want to thank all of you out there who helped to make things great for me. And I learned a lot, and I hope that my learning is helping people all over. However I can, I do like to bring what I can out there to Jacksonville. And so we're wrapping up the season finale of History Jacksonville. Season 6 is now officially over. You can always check out History Jacksonville and other shows on the Jack's Left channel. I'll be returning History Jacksonville back into the schedule in mid-September, around mid-September 2018. All of the shows are at theleftturnetwork.com. I even have a History Jacksonville link now on the website. So you can go right to History Jacksonville. If you're on Facebook, you can go right to Jacksonville Perspectives. It's a news and political commentary for progressives united for a 21st century Jacksonville. I follow all the different things that are happening in Jacksonville. And over on the George Farrar channel, I talk from time to time about national and international events, and I provide some commentary on the Farrar Report and other shows that I come up with. Remember, he most lives who thinks most, feels the noblest, acts the best. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. See you later.